Welcome back to Aman's Unfiltered. If you tuned into our last episode, you know we delved into the complexities of gender identity, its impact within Asian communities, and the challenges individuals face when seeking acceptance. Today, we continue this crucial conversation with Anjana Ghogar, exploring deeper layers of visibility, workplace struggles, and cultural resistance. In this episode, we'll tackle some tough questions on how do we balance advocacy with everyday life? How can allies truly make a difference? And most importantly, how do we move forward in creating a more inclusive society? Let's jump right back where we left off. Is there a way to educate our seniors regarding this perspective?
Of course.
How? How
Um,
do you think we can educate them?
I think first, schools itself,
Mm-hmm.
when they educate parents for so many other things,
Right.
like for sex education,
Correct.
right? For they have so many counseling sessions for today's kids not going with the mother tongue language. Let's say
Mm.
there's whole counseling session on that now.
Yeah.
Don't hold them back. There's so many other languages they're learning,
Yeah.
and so for every area, school, I think, because where parents are more concerned is they'll accept their kid. They are scared their kid's not going to be accepted in the community,
Mm.
in the neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
So if they can be made to feel confident that this is quite normal, and one as parents being the smallest society, right? That's
Yeah.
the smallest society you're in, need to give them full love and support so that they can grow and evolve differently, uniquely, as well as pretty much same.
Yeah.
Like I normally share with my students, being a biology teacher, my first lesson of being spiritual was when I made a slide of animal cell, plant cell, and bacteria and made the kids do the differences. And then I asked the kids, now I want you to see what is same in them. And Amanpreet, there were more same areas than difference.
Difference.
Same way. This is bacteria and human cell and plant cell. Same way, just in our own human spectrum, if we start looking at the sameness or the oneness and beyond the skin and the
Hmm.
body, you will see this so much. And then also, I think you will go into a zone of not getting stuck with the painting, but think of the painter who's made the painting, right? You didn't paint yourself, they didn't paint themselves. There's a painter who's painted all of us. Just go to that, merge back all the colors into white light, and from there, I think you will touch every soul to see the oneness and not get too disturbed by the difference.
So I know your answer is going to be quite obvious because you yourself are quite the advocate for gender identity. My next question, a lot of people are going to hate me for asking this, but this is out of the blue question, right? From our conversation. If one of your child marries the same sex and you being as accepting as you are, now it gives your child ample amount of reason to show off his happiness because he already has an unwavering support from you.
Yeah.
The more reason to be like, I'm so happy about this.
Yeah.
And to show off this grand gesture, they obviously want to get married in a normal way, like how we all do. How do you think the society will perceive that? Or even the wedding ritual, chalo, just say wedding karne hai, Anand Karaj in the
Yeah.
Gurdwara and all. How will you perpetuate that?
I mean, the era we are in now, it's easier because
Yeah.
it's been done already.
But do you think the Gurdwara here in Bangkok will allow it?
It will be tough, at least for the first couple to break through,
Yeah.
but eventually, I think
Yeah.
they will if they are understanding enough. But I also, I'm going back to every time I would see a gay couple, whether lesbians or men gay, my son would say, Mom, stop looking at them, And sometimes we forget, right, that we keep looking. And I said, I'm not even looking at them. I'm just feeling the freedom they're having.
Yeah.
I'm tapping into that, that they've forgotten the world around. They're kissing, they're blending in, and they're
Normalizing it.
no, yeah.
Yeah.
And I just said, and we are the ones who are like,
Ew, yeah.
and
What are they
I'm not
doing?
looking from that. I'm not
Yeah.
coming from that space.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, wow, this is amazing. And they're happy, right? They're gay. And my son would exactly ask the question you asked. So, Mom, what if
Yeah.
and I look at him and I said, yeah, that's a thought. It's different when you're viewing a movie and outside other picture,
And real life situations.
real life situation. But yes, I think where I come from, I would be able to accept. And I would support anyone for this. I would be supportive for sure. But again, I would not want you to hurry into a decision like that.
But are you willing to go through that lens to change the mindset of people in the society to make sure your son or daughter gets that right?
Yeah.
Like getting married in a gurdwara or things like that.
Yes, I would.
You would?
Yeah.
That's
I would.
amazing.
I would. Yeah.
Great.
I would.
I would too.
Yeah. I think slowly people's mindset is changing.
I think, like, given a few examples, not even just on the topic we're talking about, I think our society has come very, very far in how they think and, how they accept things. Because, like, if I come back to the camp situation, I don't know if you remember this, because I was walking in with you at one point and I had my cousin from Singapore who was visiting me. And he's a fellow Sevadar of his camp in Singapore and Malaysia. And at that time, he walked in, and one of the Sevadars from Malaysia ran to him and saying, "No, you can't come in." And both you and I were confused, like, why can't he come in? It's like, no, ita wal katte hoya hai vagera. And I just looked at my cousin, and my cousin was like, this thing exists. Like, where I come from, it's so open. Like,
Yeah.
nobody really cares.
Yeah.
I think that was the point that made me say, I'm not doing this Sevadar
Yeah.
thing anymore.
Yeah.
For me, this is hypocrisy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was one situation that stopped me from coming back.
And maybe that was the situation where also slowly the cap evolved.
But do you
to
remember
accept.
the situation?
I don't. My
Okay.
memory fails me. Sorry, but I would understand that sometimes situations like this, like visibility from that perspective you mentioned, also these things have to surface up
Yeah.
before a change happens. So I would say, I mean, we come from a philosophy which believes in oneness, right?
Yeah.
Founder of our Sikhism, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, literally talked
Yep.
about Ek Onkar, one energy. And I think if as people, it's not about being one with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I feel as people start becoming one with their own core, with their own truth, with their own godly or divine qualities,
Yeah.
and everyone gets closer to that, they would be embracing everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm quite sure there will be people in the Gurdwara who are in the committee or in the priest out there who are evolved souls who would
Mhm.
come in and try to buffer this kind of situation.
Well, I hope it's soon.
Yeah, and I will be there to at least try my little bit to buffer it or explain my perspective. Like I just said about
Yeah.
Shikandi, about
Yeah.
those were my mind opener. 7th grade, my mind and heart was already open for this
Yeah.
without me even thinking about it. But these little incidences kind of
Yeah.
widened the horizon and being more accepting and being more loving towards.
Absolutely. I'll give you an example. The other day, my daughter came back home and she asked me, it's like, "Mom, is it okay to crush on a girl?" And I'm like, "You're 7 years old. Why are you asking me this question now? Like, ask me when you're 12. She's like, no, is it okay to have a crush on a girl? I'm like, absolutely. I said, okay, so who is your crush? She's like, I have two crush, one girl, one boy. I'm like, okay, then in your scenario, you are not understanding what that crush is. She's like, no, but I have a friend who has two mommies.
Mm.
So isn't that a crush? And I'm like,
Mm.
if a 7-year-old child is so observant about what's happening around them, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay. So in her perspective, she was explaining me the crush in her own scenario because she is reflecting on her friend that has two mommies. And she's like, but you and dad are boy girl.
Yeah.
It's absolutely okay for what you saw, and it's okay to have two mommies or even two daddies. It's
Yeah.
normal. I said, but when you grow up, we'll have a deeper conversation
Yeah.
about this. But all you need to know for now that it's okay.
Schools are
So
already doing that.
yeah,
And some parents don't agree with what schools are doing.
no, I had
That
a
at a very young age, they are introducing the issues of LGBTQ. That even kids who are in puberty maybe are not even maybe inclined towards that, but because some of their friends are loudly expressing themselves, so they get confused. Are they this or are they that?
yeah.
So I think, to be fair, counselors should be a little mindful
Mm.
how they address these issues. What's the right age to talk to them in depth so that they have clarity, and the same time to educate the parents, because kids are going to go back and talk to the parents who won't know much to say
Mm.
about this or don't know any better how to handle the situation. They might just shut the kid down,
Yeah.
or give a totally impulsive reaction,
Mm.
which then you can't blame the kids. They're getting so totally two different schools of
Yeah,
thoughts.
I think the schools should take it on themselves to one day call in all the parents
Yeah.
to have a seminar on all this because the kids are so exposed in school itself,
Itself, yeah.
and to be able to help navigate parents with these emotions
Yeah.
and how to deal with them at home.
Yeah.
Okay, before we come to an end, we've covered almost all bases. Now, what I want to understand is the challenges in a workplace environment. How do you view the balance between maintaining professionalism and being open about one's gender identity in a workplace?
Being professional about it's already that everyone should be
Yeah.
able to express themselves
Yeah.
openly. I mean, I've worked as a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a teacher who is gay, and and he was amazing at his work. Students loved him, but yet we knew that if he was triggered, he can blow things out of proportion.
Right.
Right? We know.
Emotional, because yeah.
And one just needs to be understanding that they do have different hormonal
Mhm.
imbalances or play, which they're
Because
also dealing with.
they're on this kind of medication
yeah.
to
Maybe
maneuver.
not medication,
Mhm.
but like even in we females at a certain time of the month, if we are triggered, we go more crazy and we say, "Oh, sorry,
Absolutely.
it was that stage of my
yeah.
month."
And PMSing, we
exactly.
get away with it.
And so, if everybody understands
yeah.
the weaknesses and strengths of each other, and then you
Yeah.
just don't step on each other's shoes, you
Yeah.
just respect. And he was amazing. There were many people who would open their hearts, girls and boys would open their hearts to him more because he was
Yeah.
understanding. So yeah, being in profession, you have to be open about it.
I remember the college I went to. I went to Raffles Design Institute when it was in Ceylon back in the days,
Uh-huh.
right? When I newly came here. And almost all my teachers that were not Thai were all gay.
Yeah.
Okay, men gay. Okay. And I swear to God, just like this one lecturer, I'm going to say his name. His name is JB. He was such an important figure in my life in Bangkok. And I loved this guy. And he made everything so normal for us. He was French and he had an Asian Chinese boyfriend, also a teacher in our college. And we would go out as couples. We hung out and everything. And it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And he was like, at that time, he was my most favorite person in the world. But he never went through the whole emotional thing. He was very, very professional about it. Like he would wear a suit to work, but
Yeah.
everybody knew his identity and everything, but he kept utmost professionalism at work. So, yeah, to
I guess
answer my own question.
once you realize your strengths
Mm,
and have place to express it,
yeah.
then you're not insecure.
I think he was the most secure person I
Yeah.
ever met. Yeah.
And I think that's what I would recommend, again, the whole transgender community,
Mm,
from man to female and anyone between, the shades between them, to everyone, to work more on their inner strength. Bring that out. Show that you have value to contribute to society, and people will look up to you for that. You want to give a little more importance to your look, we all do. Please do. But don't make it only about that.
yeah.
And don't go artificial ways, or don't go against natural ways.
Can you elaborate on
Yeah,
that?
I would just the scuba
Mm,
diver. She realized that taking extra hormones does a lot of toll on the body. The blood gets very thick.
mm,
You can't think straight. Women who have done IVF to get
mm.
pregnant have been pumped with hormones. They know how you feel like a
Yeah.
stuffed toy, and
Yeah, yeah.
the blood vessels in the brain are so fine. The thick blood with hormones can't even
Yeah,
go
yeah,
there.
yeah.
So you're always not able to think straight, or go through surgeries or do whatever replacements. It's all going too far.
Right.
If really it's needed, it should be well counseled, well thought of. But before that is done, again, focus on the value within, which needs a normal functional body to execute that value you can give,
Yeah,
not a female body or a male body.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I would say. If you need to do it, you have the freedom. It's your body. But
Mm.
don't go so against nature that you will have to bear the consequences and you can't reverse it.
Yeah, because then again, to come think about it, you are alternating nature basically,
Yeah,
and the health concerns that can
there,
possibly come with all of that,
there'll be
it's
a lot,
much higher.
a lot. And also, I feel once a person understands what they love and am able to express it to the fullest, as well as their identity to the fullest, I said that's when you can say you have a life. It's like
Yeah.
love and identity fully expressed.
What advice would you give to our fellow Indian in our society who could be struggling with their gender identity, with their own families? How do you think we can help them navigate in coming out?
There's I found a university in Mahidol or Sasin. There's something called Trans Talent. Did you know?
Never heard of it.
They specifically educate people to find and fine tune their talents.
Right,
And the focus, and there's it's an area of no judgment, right? And everybody's just discovering themselves.
right.
And once you find and start falling in love with the polished self of yourself, that you can give that
Yeah,
in your own unique way, gives you first already the strength to normalize yourself. So I think first suggestion would be discover yourself fullest. Take time, patience, find out few people, the right company, friends, not only the ones who feel you fit in well easily and there are no challenges.
mm.
Someone who can challenge you, someone who can bridge you, someone who can flourish you.
Mm.
Be in the right environment. Like even a seed to grow, it has to be in the right season, right
Yeah,
soil, right fertilizer. So, whatever you need, find the right company. You can't please everyone, and don't go around pleasing anyone.
correct.
That you shouldn't be doing this to please someone.
Yeah,
Again, you should just be there so that you can believe in yourself. Because you can say, "Oh, I believe in myself," but then what do you believe in? I have faith in myself. What is it you have faith in?
correct.
You need to know.
You need to know.
Like, you need to know that in a situation like this, I have faith that I will be able to stand tall and not crash and help. Like in colleges, I would say, I
Yeah.
have faith I'll go into a party, come back, and maybe drive two drunk people in the car and drop them home safe.
Yeah.
I had faith in myself, I could do it.
Right.
So they had faith in me for that. Find what is it that you feel you've been designated, in this life. Find that purpose. Make that your focus, and everything will fall into place. I feel something that makes you smile, something that creates music for you, And there's so many areas God's given these little strengths. See, what are you made for?
Yeah.
And I think just start with that. And
That's
if parents
amazing.
understand this, please create that environment for your kids so that they can flourish and evolve to be the best version. And that's it. Because I feel you live in your mind more than you live in the world. Most of the time, you're living in here. So this is a good place to live in. And this is a happening place to live in. The world is just a projection of that. So if you're judging yourself and you're feeling insecure and you're feeling, then the world is just going to amplify that and throw it back to you. They'll echo it back to you. You just make sure that here it's good place to live in for everyone.
Right.
Yeah. And then you see the transition happening. Everybody will be accepting.
We're heading there. We're heading there.
I'm so sure. I don't know if I've told you this before. I've written actually a script for a movie.
Yeah. You mentioned it.
I've also went to 2-3 producers in Bombay. Most of them said, why it's a Sardar character that you are making a transgender? I said, why not? No, but Sardars are warriors and they're machos, and like you can never make a Sardar a beggar, right? Say, so you'll never see a Sardar begging. I said, yes, but there are Sardars also doing bad stuff.
वो भी सही है.
So don't put it just see reality that they are Sardars who are under the closet, maybe in the closet. They are not able to express out, but they are going through this. So be real.
Oh, they definitely are.
Yeah, I said, so why are you shying away? Again, be Christian consciousness and be.
Yeah.
What was the perspective? Stuck with that. Just don't be stuck up, I feel. Both parties.
Yeah.
No one should be stuck up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just see for now, in the need of the hour and now, when it's time to express. But they all, 3 of them, just said, नहीं बंगाली बना दो या कर दो, सरदार नहीं बनाना, सरदार को नहीं दिखाना.
But क्यों?
All the more reason. I said, no, if it's going to be made, I would want to. क्योंकि human है और वही emotions है. Again, we've bracketed into the community, which is in fact, cutting. I had gone to in Delhi and in a mall, Mac Sephora or a Mac store. There was a Sardar with nail polish, lipstick, selling Mac cosmetics. So it was already 10 at night. Store was about to close. So I went to him. I said, well, are you in a rush to go back home? He said, no. I said, the Starbucks open. Can we just sit and talk for a bit? I would like to. And the story he told me about himself was like, and he said, there's so many of my friends who are like this, but I've luckily found Didi, he called his, the Mac owner, who from Ludhiana saw me, got me out from there, and got to get me a job here. And she allows me to express myself fully.
That's so sweet.
And then he said, called his Muslim friend. He said, "Ye mera Muslim bhai hai, but he's also struggling with gender." And then he said, my parents also. So when you are dealing with the same emotional turmoil, or then you don't see whether you're Sikh or a Muslim.
Yeah,
right.
It's humanity, right? At the end of the day,
it's just your emotional body which is needs to be touched. In Burning Man, they had this one seva, one volunteer job, that if there's a temple created, then you go sit there as a listener,
right?
And people are coming and they're just pouring out their emotions. They don't come in the temple as a Sikh or a Hindu or a Muslim.
Yeah,
they come as that all of us are going through some emotions.
Mm.
And if you look at the emotional body of the person, it doesn't matter in which body or culture or religion that person is in.
Right.
Same way, I think one needs to be real and touch the core.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and get that out. It will stink, it will pain. Every surgery does, right?
Yeah.
It will hurt, but at the end, it will heal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Auntie Anjana, for coming on to my show. Some great insights over here. I hope you enjoyed
I did.
being able to express
Yes, I
your beliefs.
I
and
hope I did justice.
Oh my
Again,
God. I think
just myself long to express what I love, what I identify with
yeah.
to the fullest, and have a life that I can cherish in my old age, where memories already failing me. When memory again is gone, right? So whatever little I have in my mind, it should be pleasant experiences,
Yeah.
good memories to live with. So same way I would say for everyone, all the transgenders, male and the shades in between, two female, to have their life, have their love and identity fully expressed.
Amazing.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you so much. As we wrap up this powerful discussion, one thing is clear: conversations like these are just the beginning of real change. Gender identity isn't just a personal experience, it's a societal shift that requires awareness, empathy, and action. Whether you're part of the LGBTQ community or an ally, your role in fostering acceptance matters. Thank you, Auntie Anjana, for sharing your insights. And to our listeners, for engaging in this dialogue with an open mind. This marks the final of our gender identity series. But the conversation doesn't stop here. So keep questioning, keep learning, and most importantly, keep supporting one another. Until next time, this is Aman's Unfiltered. Stay bold, stay kind, and keep the dialogue going.